Hey everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero here, Clark Commando 1983. It's April 15th, 2024, Monday, and well, I've had this set up for a few days now. I've done the training scenarios, I've read the rules, did videos on with rules commentary on the training scenarios. This is GMT Games Unconditional Surrender, which I'm prepping to play at GMT West here next weekend. So, that being said, if you enjoy the video, please like, please subscribe to my channel. That stuff really helps me getting through my cancer fight. So, anything that, if you think it's worthy of your time, I appreciate it. This may be a rather long video because we are going to talk about the rules, the scenario. We'll see. We may just do the German half of the turn on this, but I'm going to be walking through the sequence of play. And some of the stuff I'll be doing exact commentary, some I won't. So, that being said, I've got the scenario set up, and my intent, I did the historical setup. You're not going to be able to see everything. There's a small British army in Egypt that you can't see right now, but I'm going to focus in on Poland because that's where the majority of the action is going to be for this time. So first I'm going to go over the scenario, which will be in your playbook, which you can print out. The newest one from GMT, their living rule site. It's a 3-faction scenario normally. I'm solitarying it. I'm not going to get that far. Because like I said, I am just prepping for next weekend to be able to have an idea what's going on to play at GMT West. And I've already done a series of videos on the So the scenario we're doing is the main event, 39 to 40 question mark, because when the game actually ends, would be determined by what the Axis do and when appeasement and Nazi-Soviet pact is listed or lifted. Depending on when you do that, the scenario could end in July of 44, 45, or 1946. So the scenario gives you instructions for placing markers. The victory conditions, and we will be playing this campaign at GMT West. If Germany is conquered, the Allied faction wins. If Germany is conquered by the end of the game, if Germany is not conquered by the end of the game, the Allied faction wins. If France was never conquered and the USSR was never collapsed, and the Axis factions win if the Allies don't win. So to start the game, and I am gonna go into rules, but I'm not gonna go into exact pieces of some things, but I will cover majority. So for this scenario, all policies are in effect except Moscow, the Moscow Treaty. Yes, okay. Just a note there, and you're going to have to walk with me a little bit here, folks. All conditional events are in effect. There's no control markers at start. So the Diplomacy Cup, which I've got over here, I'm using my handy dandy, nice wide cup from Multi-Man Publishing. Got all the political markers in there. You'll see how that works when we get to there. But placed in that cup are 6 no event, 3 political success, 1 political failure, and 2 area seized markers. There's no pro faction markers at start. No special rules and notes. All countries, except for Germany, France, UK, and USSR, are neutral. Before the start of the scenario, players will decide if they want a wide open, a variable, east first, or west first opening. So I'm doing a west first opening because it's historical, and I'm here to I'm going to probably be playing the Germans. There are other options. You can do east first, variable, where you roll a die, and whatnot. Excuse me. With the West first, I'm going to be declaring war on the Western faction and then on Poland, which will activate as a Western country. And then I could declare war on other countries if I want, which I probably won't. Almost ready to get started. So then we have Italy. And what we're going to do, there's a slight chance that Italy can join the Allies. It does say it kind of throws the game out of whack if they join the Allies. Yeah. So basically, you can leave Italy to the effects of the diplomacy game or effects of basically the only way they can join the Allies is if Germany declares war on them. So we're going to play with that option, assuming. I doubt we'll get that far. And I may do a video. Today's Monday. I don't leave till Thursday after my chemo on Wednesday. So, and then I just followed the setup and whatnot in the playbook for all the pieces. There are options, with certain rules that you can kind of set up your guys where you want them within limits. And this guy is not in Turkey. Where is the 5th shock army? We're going to put him with the rest of the shock armies. Okay. Yeah, there's no Russian shock army in Turkey. Okay. So, all right. So the scenario's set up, ready to go. The weather phase, there's no weather phase on the first turn. It's the scenario rules. It's fair in all zones. And I'm going to show you the sequence of play that we're following. This is the game. And if you remember, each faction, in faction order, you complete one phase before the next phase is started. Exception, weather and strategic warfare phases. Faction order is except for because only the Germans, I think. I could be wrong, but see, weather. So it just tells you in the sequence of play. Like I said, there is no weather. Normally you would roll once for each weather zone. And you can't really see it on the map unless I really zoomed it in, but it's pretty clear looking at it. There's dotted colors. So there's a yellow down here in the med that you can't see. So anything below that is the warm. Oh wait, desert. That's desert, right? Yeah. From yellow to green is warm. And then from green to blue is mild. And then your cold zone is blue, which you can't see, or north. So, yeah. All right. And anything below the yellow is the desert, actually, which I believe is always clear. I'll have to look that up. So, declarations of war. All right. So, I'm going to read through here. The phasing faction declares war on any number of neutral countries. If war is declared on a country, it is activated and joins an enemy faction per country activation. All right. So, as soon as we declare war on the Western faction, that ends appeasement. which is a policy. So we're going to just look up what the effects of that. So policies are rule 10.3. Conditional events, right? No, okay. Let's see here. Cooperation limits. Appeasement ends. This policy ends when one of the following occurs. The Axis declare war on the Western faction. That just happened. Nazi-Soviet pact still in effect. The game starts with it in effect. Let's see here. So when appeasement ends, now one of the things it's really not difficult, but I did have to read it a few times, and I'm going to go over it here for just some completeness. Is conditional events. There's a summary. Let's see here, Rule 13. We're going to go right to Rule 13. Because when appeasement ends, and remember, all conditional events can happen, and all policies are in effect. Let's see here. Conditional events. What I'm looking for, so I'm not sure if it's a policy or conditional event. There's restrictions on the Mediterranean, and I want to be just really clear for your benefit, and mine. So let's see here what we got. You got what's called home defense, and we'll go over that. It's really pretty simple. That's a policy. Cooperation limits, nothing really special there, kind of what you'd expect. In the Soviet, everything's played as a separate faction. Let's see, so appeasement. I'm just going to be clear. While it was in effect, and it's no longer in effect. So you know what? I'm going to skip it because it's not in effect. And the one thing is good I went through this because in appeasement, the national will of Russia is reduced by 40. Well, as soon as it ends, we're going to raise the national will by 40. So it looks like we go from, let me look at the scenario. Yeah, because it says it says 60. I don't know if that's the case. Let's see, page 19. And I apologize, in some ways this video is going to take a while, and in some ways I'm not, because I actually want to be as complete as I possibly can. So like I said, we're doing the 3 faction. We're going to go over here to the Soviets. I want to see what their national will is. So national will is 45. 85 minus 40. Why do I have it at 68? Well, anyways, we're now at a national will of 85 because it was 45. Minus 40 because of appeasement. As soon as appeasement's lifted, it goes up by the 40. All right, so let's go back. So appeasement, Nazi-Soviet pact, Moscow Treaty. There is a thing called the Mediterranean. I'm trying to find that because it's in the stupid scenario. I mean, the wonderful scenario. Conditional events. Oh, Mediterranean crisis. There's a scenario rule basically says the Brits in Egypt can't move unless a Mediterranean crisis occurs. So, a Mediterranean crisis. This event occurs the first time either of the following happens. An Axis unit or marker attacks into, moves, or is placed in France or UK. An Axis unit or marker attacks into, moves into, or is placed in a France or UK overseas area, or an area of any country except for the France or UK mainland area that shares a border with the France or overseas area. Okay. And just to be clear, so Mediterranean crisis, so that's not triggered. And the scenario rule that I'm discussing, let's make sure I'm not crazy. Once again, I'm going to apologize, kind of, that I'm having to do this, but I want to be really clear and concise before I move on. Let's see here. So, okay, I could have swore I read that somewhere. But just looking through the conditional events here. Okay, I think we're good. So, I mean, basically, until a Mediterranean crisis happens, you can't move any of these British units. I know I read it somewhere. I will have to look it up later and add it because we're 18 minutes in and I haven't even got started. So, anyways, I'm just feeling good today and I wanted to make sure I got some plan. So, all right, so we declared war, and the Axis went first. The Western powers aren't going to declare war on anybody, and neither is the Soviets. And it gives you rules, references here for where you can look. Economy phase, determine each active factory count. And we did that, and you determine. So we already did that for the beginning of the scenario, so we're going to skip all this. Basically, the Russians start with 10 factories, and they get a multiplier, so they have 20 production points available. And we'll get into what you spend those on. Poland has 2 factories, so their production's 2. France has 9 factories, so they have 18 production points. Or 16. Why do they have 60? Yeah, it should be British. I guess I don't know how to count. Yeah, there's 16. The French and the British are both 16. Germany starts with 13 factories, and they're doubled, so they get 26 production points. So that's the economy phase. Strategic warfare. It doesn't start yet because there's no factory lost markers on the board yet. That will happen later on. 9.21. When the West is invaded, that's when you place that. Strategic warfare. You take the U.S. UK factory and put it on the on map, one box. Yeah, so you're not going to get that until the West is invaded. So. This event, access units for markers, blah, blah, blah. So, West invaded. I guess I need to freaking. I guess I'm going to have to review this part of the rules again. But anyways, I know what happens here. Sorry, I don't mean to waste your time. I'm just a little bit confused. I've read this so many freaking times. And it's really not that hard. Let me see the rules reference. 9.1.2. That's factory count. Correct. We don't do strategic warfare. We're not doing diplomacy just yet. We're not going to have any strategic deployment. Yeah, we have to check home defense, which I'll go over. In fact, let's just do that now. Home defense. So you have to maintain a home defense, and for most countries, it means like at least one army needs to stay within its home mainland area. So let's see here. Each country must keep at least one ground unit within 3 hexes or anywhere within its country's mainland area. Exceptions are Germany, UK, USA, and USSR. So Germany has to keep at least 2 of its air units and 3 of its field ground units within any of the following locations: East Prussia, Lithuania, Poland, or USSR. So that's easily in place right now. On the West Front, they have to keep at least 2 air units, 3 of its field ground units, and it lists areas of Belgium, Great Britain, Denmark, mainland France, Netherlands and Norway, or in Germany, a hex that borders those countries. So you can see by the setup, they've met that. Okay, and you actually check that in the operation phase. So we did that. So we are now in the operations phase. Okay, this is the heart of the game. Sorry it took me 24 minutes to get here. So, I've done this a few times, so let's hope that I can keep track. So, in faction order, so Axis are going to do theirs first. So basically what happens is we're going to do the action subphase first, it's called. And then at the end of that, when we activated all the armies we want to do, we're going to do the supply subphase check. Okay? So let's get started here. So in order, so first up, things cost production points. Infantry costs 1, armor costs 2, fly air sorties doesn't cost anything. And if you remember from watching my other videos, you actually activate 1 unit at a time, and you pay the movement point costs and whatnot. So, and remember, we want to drive the national will of the polls down to 0. So the first thing we're going to do, I think, right out of the gate, this is interesting. Even this is a little bit of a puzzle. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing in Poland and my thought process. So the cap, right, it drops by 1 for lost armies, occupied cities. There is a national will chart here on the player aid cards that you should print out from Board Game Geek. Okay? It gives you all the different things that modify it. In fact, let's see if anything's changed with the declarations of war. I don't believe so. You lose 1 every time one of your field ground units is eliminated when defending in combat. You lose 1 each time you lose a city in an overseas area. Anytime you lose one of your mainland cities, it drops by 2. Poland starts with a national will of 12. Okay. When your capital gets occupied, it's -4. And you get bonuses. I'm not going to read them all off. I want to see. Okay. All right. So nothing happened because of the declarations of war. All right. Which army do I want to activate first? And there again, this may not be at all ideal play. We're going to go ahead and kick off with probably not the best move. Well, no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, we do. No, we don't. Let's see, is this a city here? Posen, it is a city. Lodz. Yeah. Okay. Now, we do like the idea of getting stuff isolated. I'm going to activate the 18th Army. So that's an infantry army right here. Like I said, this may not be ideal play, but it's what I'm going to do. They get 8 movement points because they're a leg. You have to spend 1 production point to activate a land unit. So spent that. I'm going to go ahead and move. I'm going to go 1, 2, okay. Now, let's see, so that's 2. That's 2 movement points. I got 6 left. I'm going to do a mobile assault. I want to do a mobile assault. No, I think I might want to stop there. No, I do want to attack it, don't I? No, I don't. Dang it, this is probably not the best. You know what? Not going to do that. Let's restart. Sorry. I know, it's torture, right? Watching me do this, probably. because the idea is you do want to be able to get some guys surrounded. You know what? I'm going to stick with it. I paid my one. I'm going to go to there. I'm going to stop. I'm going to mark that. I'm not going to do a mobile assault because I probably, yeah, odds are what would happen is I would just get him to retreat to here. So I don't want to do that. All right. So we will next activate the 4th Infantry Army here. Spend another production point. And now normally stacking's in effect at all times. But if as long as it's not a Zoc, you can go here. So I'm going to go 1, then 2, 3, because it's not a, and I don't want to do that either. Dang it. I really don't want to give them an option. This prot, man, this is not ideal. But anyway, you know what? We're just going to do it. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to stop. It costs 2 movement points to enter the city because it's enemy controlled. And we're going to do this. Mark it as we're assaulting. Okay. Then, that's a lot of prep work. I'm going to put an axis control marker in the hex. And Polish will is going to drop by 2. Where's it at? There it is. So we're down to 10 because we took one of their cities. Now we're going to activate this Panzer Army. Now this guy is going to get 10 movement points. He's going to cost 2 production points to activate him because he's a Panzer unit. And I hope when I stepped in front of the camera, you were able to see what I was doing. All right. So we're going to spend 1. Then we're going to spend 2 for the river. We're going to do a mobile assault. And then it's going to be 3 for the clear. And I believe it's going to be, let's see, 1 for the clear. River hex sides +1 and another +1. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 movement points to do a mobile assault. That leaves me 6. So we're going to go to the combat. And let's see here. Results. Ground units. So the Panzer, German Panzer, is the primary attacking unit. Of course, the Polish army there, right here, is the defending unit. Each side will do a commit or not commit. That's where you can do markers or you can commit 1 air unit. The Poles, so the Germans are going to commit. And we'll commit an air unit. We'll do the one up here in the 1st Luftwaffe. So they get a sortie marker underneath. That commits their air. You don't actually have to move it. And at this point, the Germans do have some stuff, or the Allies have some event markers that they could, ground support and whatnot that they could use. But we're not going to do that. Okay. So we did that. There's no air-to-air combat. Each side determines its own DRM. So now we do go through the DRMs. And we're going to get, Germany's going to get a +2 because they're German. +2 because they're attacking. That's 4. They're isolated. This guy's isolated because there's Zocs all around him. There's no city or fort for him to retreat to. So that's +6. And I threw in air support. So the Germans are going to get a +8 to their attack die roll. And the defenders are going to be at 0. And this is a mobile assault with the Panzer. So with a +8. Let's pull the die roller over here so you can see what's going on. I think, right? Let's see, I zoomed in a little bit, didn't I? I don't want to block the view. How about there? Did it work? Kinda. Alright. So the red die is the Polish die, or the white die. Alright, so the Germans get a 13. And the Poles are at 4. So let me show you. I'm not going to show every result, but so you go here, the attacker's modified roll is a 13. And so the Poles are 4, so a DD +3. So the +3 you ignore, that's for air-to-air combat. But a DD result does flip the Polish unit, and it has to retreat, and it has no retreat path, so it's eliminated. So for now, eventually when they get conquered, won't matter, but this army's going to go in the eliminated box section. Okay, you would place a no Zoc marker, which I'm not going to bother to do in the hex, just because it has no impact right now. What am I forgetting? And nothing. Okay, and the national will is going to drop by 1 more, so now it's down to 9 for the Poles. We're going to advance after combat. Okay, so we've now spent 6 movement points left with this Panzer army. And we're gonna go, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10 to assault. All right, one to assault and 1 to enter. So we will fly another air sortie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I could use this one. It just has to be within 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll go ahead and just do that because, well, maybe not. I'm going to go ahead and stick with doing that one. It's already got a 1 sortie underneath it. And remember, you can go up to 6 sorties. Sorties is a negative modifier if you get into any kind of air-to-air combat, but there is none. So here, do I want to have both sides commit? No, I don't. I'm going to save the Polish. I'm going to because this is going to be pretty overwhelming. So the Germans are going to get this time +2 because they're German, +2 for armor, +2 for air support, so that's a 6. And the Poles, once again, will have no modifiers. You got the dice over here this time. And, oh boy, that's not good for the Germans at all. All right, the Germans got a 1, +6 is a 7. But our Polish friends rolled a 6. So that they stuffed the Panzers. Okay, well, that is what it is, isn't it? That's kind of exciting. Oh boy, let's see what happens. Now, I'm just going to note for rules purposes, if you watch this far, even though these guys are marked with assaults, and I'll have to look it up, but they're still considered assaulting this hex, even though it's empty now. That can happen. And when I get to the part where I do the assaults, they can actually advance, which, you know, not a big deal here, but that was not a good result for the Germans whatsoever. Okay, well, shoot. Now, what are we going to do here? All right, well, yeah, this is going to get ugly, isn't it? I think I would know how to do this by now, and I don't. I'm sure I bungled this. Probably a better way to do this, but I'm going to activate the 8th Army. Let's see, maybe I should just do this Panzer Army. Get it done with. What do we got? Yeah. Man, this is gonna be bad if I can't take out. All right, well, we're gonna activate the 8th Army. They get 8 movement points. I spend another production point because that one costs 1 because the infantry. And we'll fly another air sortie. And it gets me to 3. And we're going to throw in, both sides are going to do support. So we're going to throw in a ground support for the Poles. And we're also going to do a ground support for the Germans. That's good enough. So the Poles are going to get a +1 to their die roll. The Germans are going to get +2 because they're German, +2 for the air support, +1 for the ground support. And then the terrain, where does that go to? I always forget. -1. Yeah, the Germans get a -1, so they're going to be +4. And we're going to roll the dice. This could be really not good at all. Oh boy, God, I tell you, I have nothing but bad luck here. So it's going to be a 10 to 7, which is going to be a defender retreat. Okay, well, it could be worse, right? So defender retreat, after retreat 1, so they'll retreat there. I spent 1, 2, 3, 2 for the city and 1 for the assault. Okay, and made them retreat, not a big deal. But the national will drops by 2. So now Polish national will is down to 7. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to assault again across the river. So that will be a plus, let me see here. So the river is going to be cumulative with the city, I think. Let me look. Tagging it to Canadian city and or amount of rough terrain. That's -1 in total. Then you get a -1 for, so -2, +2 for Germany, +2 for air, so that's only a +2. And I'll throw in a ground support for both sides. Why not? The Poles actually have a really good chance of stuffing the Germans here. So this is going to go to 4 sorties. And we're going to roll the dice. And we you know what? We're rolling again because I rolled another 6 for the poll. Let's count it if this time. Okay, yep, I cheated. I know. All right, well, the poll still got a 2, plus 1's a 3, just 2 and 9. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 3. DD. Okay. All right. I'll go there, flip that to DD, and they have to retreat. And so they'll retreat in the loads, okay? And we'll advance. And we get a control marker for posting. Okay, so let's make sure. We'll see 12, and we got minus 2, 4, 5. National will for the polls should be down to 7. Okay, so we're good there. All right. So now let's. I don't want to block myself out, right? So we're going to activate the 2nd Panzer, right? I think that's it for the infantry, right? 8th spent 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I actually have 2 movement points left. So you know what? I do have 2 movement points. I'm going to assault here again. So I get a plus 2 because I'm German. I'm going to throw in the other ground support for both sides. So the Poles are going to get a plus 1. The Germans are going to get a plus 1. And I need that air power. So this is going to go up to 5 sorties. And it wasn't in Königsberg, it was here. So we'll go up to 5 sorties. Gives the Germans another plus 2. We're going to be minus 1 for the city. And I think we do get a plus because he's reduced. Oh no, the Poles get a minus 2. So they're going to go from a plus 1 to a minus 1. All right. And we're going to roll. Oh my God. You know what? You guys wouldn't believe this. I have literally rolled 6 times in a row, except for 1 die roll, and the Poles have rolled 6 every time. I think this is terrible dice. Yeah, we're not going with that. We're going to get, I'm going to show you the die roll so I can't cheat anymore. This is really, sorry. I'm going to blow that dice up. I'm not even going to bring it with me. So here we go. The black die will be the Germans, and the blue die will be the Allies. And okay, well, this is what it is. And those are new dice, my 4th set of dice. And typical, not really mark luck because I'm having playing solitaire. So the Germans get a 2, plus 4 is a 6. And the Allies have a 4, minus 1's a 3. So that's a defender retreat. So at least do force him out of the city. Can't go here because he'd be overstacked. So we're going to go into the city here. We get to place a Axis control marker. Okay. And drops national morale down to 5. And that's it. So we've activated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 production points. Just making sure. 26. We should be down to 21. All right, now we're going to activate the second Panzer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. We're going to try that, I think. Let's just go ahead and do it. So 2 production points. Excuse me, so we go on to 19. Okay, we get 10 movement points. And we're going to go 1, 2. Now there's a transportation line, so this is 3. We go 4. Now we're in a Zoc, so we either have to stop and assault or mobile assault. So we're going to mobile assault. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 1. That leaves me 4 movement points, and I'm tracking that over here on the track. We've already committed. So we're going to commit this air because we're going to leave nothing to chance. Because Mark's luck is so fucking bad. Pardon my French. Sorry. And we get +2 for German, +2 for armor, +2 for the air. That's +6. Whoops, I bumped the damn thing. The Polish have nothing left to commit. This is no terrain, so there's no modifiers for the Polish. And just to double check, +2 because I'm German, +2 because I'm attack, and +2, yeah, so +6. So we roll the dice. And the Germans get a 6 this time. +6 is a 12. And the Poles get a 3. So that's a defender disrupted. One less, and it would have been an eliminated. But no. So this is flipped. And we're going to retreat. Can't go here. We're going to go ahead and retreat towards Warsaw. So we advance to here. And we have 4 movement points left. No, this guy wouldn't be isolated because there's a city here. So we're going to attack here. So we'll spend 2 more movement points. Leaves me 2. We're going to go with +6 this time with no air support. And because the Germans get a plus, or wait, oh, my bad. Sorry, actually the Poles get a minus. So the +2 for German, +2 for Panzer. And the Poles get a -2 because that is a reduced strength unit now. And so the Germans roll a 1. Can you believe this shit? Sorry. And this is like my 4th or 5th set of dice too. And the British or the Poles roll a 4, but they are -2. So we have a result of +4, so 5 to 2. That's another defender retreat. And we're going to go to there. And we'll advance. No, we won't, because that would put my German panzers out of supply. I cannot believe I did not kill that guy. All right, well, you know what? It is what it is. So I got 2 movement points left. I'll spend those last two and I'll attack this reduced strength guy. And we're going to commit air. The Germans are going to get +2 for German, +2 for Panzer, +2 for the air support. And so they're at +6. And the Poles are at -2. All right. No, cocked up. And the Germans get a 1. +6 is 7. And the Poles are at 1 because they rolled a 2. So DD. All right. Well, at least we'll kill this Polish army. That lowers the will down to 4. I'm not going to advance. I don't have to. And that ends the Panzer Corps. So now all I got left are these two infantry armies. And we're going to go ahead and attack. I'm going to throw in air support. I'm going to spend the production point. And it's going to cost 2 movement points. I have 6 left. They are isolated. So you get +2 for Germans, +2 for the air support, +2 for, because that Polish unit's isolated. And the Polish have no modifiers. Is it a river? No, it's not. Okay. So +6 and 0. So 9, I rolled a 3. So +6 is 9. And I rolled a 2. So that's a DD. You would have to retreat. So that eliminates that. Knocks the national will down to 3. And we advance after combat. Okay. That's 2 movement points. I have 6 left. Huh. What do I want to do? It's a good thing I'm doing this, huh? I doubt anybody's watching it this far, but hey, it is what it is. Now, see, my dilemma is, I guess I could go 3, 4, 5, no, I won't have enough movement points. 3, 4, 5, no. All right, I don't really have a whole lot of choice. I guess I'm going to go here. And we'll attack Krakow. Because I'm desperate here. So we'll go to 4. It's going to cost me 1, 2, 3, 4 movement points to assault. That hex gets me from 6 down to 2. And the Germans are going to get +2. +2 is +4. -1 for the cities, +3. And the Polish are going to have nothing. All right. Let's see what happens. And we got a 5 for the Germans. So +3 is an 8. And a 2 for the Polish with no modifier. So DD. All right. Now, this has to get flipped. I'm going to retreat to here. We'll advance into there. I'm doing this the hard way, that's for darn sure. And that's it, because I don't have enough movement points left to assault that guy in that hex, I don't believe. Let's see, movement. There's 2, right? For rough hexes, yeah. 2, yeah, that's too much. 2, 3, 4. All right, well, that would lower the willpower by 2, so they're down to willpower 1. So, I gotta try to kill something here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna activate the 14th Army. Yeah, and we're gonna have to hope we kill off that army. You'll see what I mean. So we spend another production point. I can't believe it's been an hour. I'm gonna have to continue this turn in my next video. No, I won't. I'm gonna finish this. All right. So we get 8 movement points. Spent the production point. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go 5, and we have to stop and spend 6, 7 to assault this hex. So that leaves me 1 movement point. And get a +2 for a German. Ugh, my goodness. The Poles get a -2 because they're reduced. And I'll do a +2 because, yeah, I'm going to commit there. I have to. I don't really, ideally, don't like it, but I need to. There's no real cheap way to get this off. It's within 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that gives me a +2 for German, +2 for the air. Not isolated. The Polish get a -2. Boy, guys, I gotta tell you, this is so bad. So the Poles roll a 5, -2 is a 3. And Germany gets a +4 for their 3, so 7 to 3. 1, 2, 3. A defender retreat. And so they'll retreat to here. Wow. Wow. Okay, well, it is what it is, right? And I'm sure a more competent commander, but I'm going to play it out as is. Don't want to advance. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and advance. So the Poles are actually going to survive because I could not kill. Now let's make sure I didn't miss any modifiers. I don't think I did. All right, well, it is what it is. I just couldn't get it. Yeah, I've activated everybody on these front. These assaults go in. Whoops. These assault markers are going to come off. And we'll advance. Okay, so that takes care of, we're going to stop right there because this video is over an hour long already. Make me a little note here on my handy dandy notepad that we finished the axis. So, supply. Everybody in, well, actually, see, I don't want to advance this. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, I'm okay. Because you can go 1, 2, and then, so, okay. Everybody's in supply. All right. So next up, will be Western Allied. And I'm going to look up a couple of rules before my next video. But operations, because remember, you do in sequence Axis, Western Allies, and then Soviets. Each of these phases. Right now we are in the operations phase. Okay? So, Poland survived. They have one willpower point left. I'll be back with the next video. Will be the Western Allies and hopefully the Soviets. I am going to do one thing just because we're going to make a couple die rolls, which technically wouldn't come till later. But if you notice, these ground support markers have a die on them. So you roll a die. I'm going to roll 2 die, and that's how many turns later you get them back. Top die, that's why I'm re-rolling. So we've got a 2 and a 5. So we're going to put these up here on the turn record track. I'm trying to stay out of the 2, 3, 4, 5. These are monthly turns. For the Western Allies, get those back. And the Germans get a 1 and a 3. So they got a little break there. Okay. So actually, though, no, wait, and I'm not even doing this right. Gosh darn it. Oh, man, I hate having cancer. Let me tell you. So 2, 1, way up here, you can't even see it. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, here we go. Hopefully I didn't block you out. Anyways, Mark's incompetence. So, still having fun. It's a good way to, that's why I'm doing this, because I really got to figure this stuff out, because my opponents are sharp people. So, and I think I'm going to be playing the Germans. So, anyways, thank you for joining me. If you've watched this far, I really, really appreciate you. And you can look for my next video. And I'm going to continue this. So thanks for watching. All right, bye.